I want to begin with a question. Have you ever watched a movie, listened to a podcast, or spoken with a native English speaker and thought, why are they speaking so fast? You know the words. You have studied the grammar. You have spent months, maybe years, learning English. Yet when real people speak, it feels like the language suddenly changes. And in that moment, many learners make a painful assumption. They tell themselves, my English is weak. I'm not good enough. Maybe I'll never understand native speakers. But what if I told you that the problem is not your English level? What if the real challenge is something entirely different? You see, most learners are fighting the wrong battle. They believe they need more vocabulary, more grammar rules, more textbooks. And while those things have value, they are often not the reason you struggle with fast English. The real problem is happening inside your mind. When a native speaker talks, your brain is trying to perform three jobs at the same time. First, it hears the word. Then it translates the word into your native language. Then it tries to understand the meaning. While your brain is busy completing those steps, the speaker has already moved on to the next sentence. And suddenly, you feel lost. It's like trying to catch a train that has already left the station. Native speakers don't translate English. They experience English. The words arrive, and meaning appears instantly. There is no extra step in between. But many learners are carrying the heavy burden of translation, and that burden slows everything down. Think about it for a moment. If someone says a simple sentence like, I was thinking about going there yesterday, a native speaker understands the idea immediately. A learner who translates word by word is still processing, I was thinking, while the rest of the sentence is already gone. And that creates frustration. But frustration can be dangerous because it convinces you that you're failing when you're actually growing. Every time you struggle to understand fast English, your brain is not proving that you're incapable. It is showing you exactly what skill needs training. Not more memorization, not more grammar exercises, faster recognition. The goal is not to know more English. The goal is to recognize English faster. That single realization changes everything. Because the moment you stop blaming yourself and start understanding how listening really works, you gain something powerful. Direction. You stop asking, why am I so bad at English? And you start asking, how can I train my brain to process English in real time? That question opens the door to transformation. Because once you understand that speed is not the enemy, processing is, you are finally ready to learn the hidden patterns that make native English sound effortless. And that is where the real journey begins. Now that we understand the real problem is not speed but processing, there is another discovery waiting for us. One that surprises almost every English learner. Let me ask you something. Have you ever listened to a native speaker and thought, I know these words. I've studied these words. I've seen them in books 100 times. So why can't I understand them when they're speaking? If that has happened to you, then welcome to one of the biggest mysteries in language learning. The truth is, native speakers do not speak the way textbooks teach English. When we learn English, we are introduced to words as separate units. We see them neatly written on a page. Every word has its own space. Every sentence looks ornate clear. But real conversations don't work that way. Native speakers are not speaking word by word. They are speaking sound by sound. And when sounds meet each other, they change. Words connect. Sounds disappear, syllables become shorter, entire phrases blend together. And suddenly, the English you learned in class sounds completely different in real life. Imagine someone asks, what are you doing? On paper, it looks simple. But in everyday conversation, it often sounds more like, what you doing? A learner would wait to hear 4 separate words. But a native speaker delivers one smooth sound. And because the brain is expecting something different, it misses the message completely. Now here's the important part. This is not a vocabulary problem. This is not a grammar problem. This is a listening pattern problem. You are not failing to understand English. You are failing to recognize how English changes when real people speak it naturally. And once you understand that, something powerful happens. You stop feeling intimidated by native speakers because you realize they are not speaking a different language. They are simply using different sound patterns. Think of it like music. If you've never heard a song before, all you hear is noise. But after listening several times, your ears begin recognizing the melody. The song hasn't changed, your familiarity has. The same thing happens with connected speech. The first time you hear it, it sounds impossible. The 10th time, it sounds familiar. The 100th time, it sounds normal. Successful English learners understand this secret. They don't just learn words, they learn how words behave when they meet each other. They train themselves to notice linking sounds. They pay attention to reductions. They listen for common patterns instead of isolated words. And gradually, what once sounded like a blur begins separating into meaningful pieces. Suddenly, movies become easier to follow. Podcasts become less exhausting. Conversations become less stressful. Not because people are speaking slower, but because your ears have become smarter. And isn't that incredible? The words were always there. The meaning was always there. The only thing missing was your awareness of the hidden code beneath spoken English. And once that code starts revealing itself, confidence begins to replace confusion. Because every connected phrase you recognize becomes proof that your listening ability is evolving. Every blended sound you decode becomes evidence that your brain is adapting to real English. And that is the moment everything starts to change. Because when you learn to hear the patterns behind the words, English stops sounding like noise and starts sounding like language. Now, once you begin recognizing how native speakers connect and change sounds, another challenge appears, one that is far more subtle, yet far more powerful. And this challenge is not in the speaker's mouth, it is in the listener's mind. Many English learners believe that becoming a better listener means concentrating harder. So when they hear a native speaker talking, they become intensely focused on every single word. They try to catch every sound, every syllable, every detail. At first, that sounds like the right thing to do. But surprisingly, it often creates the opposite result. The harder they try to hear everything, the less they actually understand. Why? Because the human brain was never designed to process language one word at a time. Think about how you listen in your native language. When someone speaks to you, you are not analyzing every individual word. You are capturing ideas. You are understanding meaning. You are following the flow of the conversation. Your brain is seeing the bigger picture. But when learners switch to English, something changes. They stop listening for meaning and start hunting for words. And the moment they miss one word, panic arrives. They think, what did he say? Then while they are busy thinking about the missed word, the conversation continues moving forward. Another sentence passes, then another. And before they know it, they have lost the entire message. I want you to understand something very important. Missing a word is not the problem. Stopping because you missed a word is the problem. Native speakers miss words too, even in their own language, in a noisy restaurant, on a crowded street, during a phone call with poor audio. Yet they continue understanding because they are not relying on every word. They are relying on context. They are listening for meaning. They trust the conversation to fill in the gaps. And that is a skill every English learner must develop. Imagine someone says, yesterday I was running late, missed my train, and had to take a taxi. Even if you don't catch the phrase running late, you can still understand the story. You hear yesterday, you hear missed my train, you hear take a taxi. Your brain can connect the dots. The overall meaning survives. And that is exactly how real communication works. The goal is not perfect listening. The goal is effective understanding. Successful learners train themselves differently. Instead of asking, did I hear every word? They asked, did I understand the message? That small shift changes everything. Because language is not a spelling test. It is communication. And communication is about meaning. The moment you begin focusing on ideas instead of individual words, your mind becomes calmer, your listening becomes smoother, your confidence grows. Suddenly, conversations stop feeling like impossible exams. They start feeling like human interactions. You begin noticing recurring phrases instead of isolated vocabulary. You start recognizing patterns instead of random sounds. And most importantly, you stop punishing yourself every time you miss something. Because you realize understanding is not built on perfection. It is built on connection. So the next time you listen to English, give yourself permission not to catch every word. Listen for the story. Listen for the emotion. Listen for the message behind the sounds. Because fluency begins the moment you stop chasing every word and start understanding every idea. At this point in the journey, something remarkable begins to happen. You have stopped blaming yourself for not understanding fast English. You have discovered that native speakers connect sounds in ways that textbooks rarely teach. You have learned that understanding meaning is more important than catching every single word. But now comes the question that separates learners who improve slowly from learners who transform rapidly. How do you train your brain to process English the way native speakers do? The answer may surprise you. It is not found in another grammar book. It is not found in memorizing hundreds of vocabulary lists. It is found in a technique so simple that many people underestimate its power. It is called shadowing. And if used correctly, it can completely change the relationship between your ears, your mouth, and your brain. You see, most learners spend years listening to English passively. They watch videos, they listen to podcasts, they hear conversations, but listening alone is only half the equation. Imagine watching people swim every day without ever entering the water yourself. You may understand the theory, you may recognize the movements, but your body has not experienced them. Language works in a similar way. Your brain learns faster when listening and speaking happen together. This is where shadowing becomes so powerful. The process is simple. You listen to a native speaker and repeat what you hear almost immediately, trying to copy not only the words, but also the rhythm, the stress, the pauses, the emotion, and the energy. At first, it feels uncomfortable. You may stumble, you may feel slow, you may feel like you're making mistakes every few seconds. But that's exactly where growth begins, because something extraordinary is happening beneath the surface. Every time you shadow, your brain is building stronger connections between sounds and meaning. Instead of translating, you start reacting. Instead of analyzing, you start recognizing. Instead of hesitating, you start flowing. And little by little, your ears become sharper. Think about how musicians train. They'll simply listen to great music, they play it. Athletes don't become stronger by watching competitions. They move, they imitate. They practice the motions repeatedly until those movements become natural. Shadowing does the same thing for language. It transforms English from something you observe into something you experience. And here is the beautiful part. As your speaking improves, your listening improves. And as your listening improves, your speaking improves. Most learners treat these as separate skills, but they are deeply connected. When you learn to produce the sounds correctly, your ears become better at recognizing those sounds when other people use them. Suddenly, phrases that once sounded blurry become clear. Conversations that once felt overwhelming become manageable. You begin predicting sentence patterns before they finish. You start recognizing rhythms you never noticed before. And confidence begins replacing hesitation, not because you became perfect, but because your brain has started adapting to real English. So if you truly want to understand native speakers, don't just listen to English. Speak with it, move with it, mirror it. Allow yourself to sound like the speaker, even if it feels awkward in the beginning. Because every sentence you shadow is teaching your brain to think faster, hear better, and respond more naturally. And one day you'll realize that the voice you were following has quietly become a voice you can understand with ease. By now, you can probably see that understanding fast English is not about talent. It is not about having a special gift. It is about training your brain in the right way. You have learned how to process language faster, recognize connected speech, focus on meaning instead of every word, and use shadowing to strengthen the connection between listening and speaking. But there is one more truth that many learners avoid. You cannot become comfortable with English if English only exists during study time. Think about that for a moment. Many people treat English like a school subject. They open it when they have time. They study it for an hour. They complete an exercise. Then they close the book and return to a life completely surrounded by their native language. Days pass, weeks pass, months pass, and then they wonder why real conversations still feel difficult. The answer is simple. Your brain becomes familiar with whatever experiences most often. If English only appears occasionally, your brain continues treating it like a visitor. But when English becomes part of your daily environment, your brain starts treating it like a normal part of life. And that changes everything. Now, when people hear the word immersion, many immediately think about moving to another country. They imagine living in an English-speaking city, speaking English every day. and being surrounded by native speakers. Yes, that can help. But true immersion is not a location, it is a habit. You can create immersion wherever you are. The question is not, where do you live? The question is, what does your brain hear every day? Successful learners understand this principle. They do not wait for the perfect opportunity. They build an English environment around themselves. When they exercise, they listen to English podcasts. When they travel, they listen to interviews. When they relax, they watch content they genuinely enjoy in English. But here is the important difference. They are not consuming content mindlessly. They are listening with curiosity. They notice repeated phrases. They pay attention to how native speakers express common ideas. They collect useful expressions instead of isolated vocabulary words. And over time, something extraordinary begins to happen. Their brains stop treating English as unfamiliar. The sounds become familiar. The rhythms become familiar. The sentence structures become familiar. The reactions become faster. And what once required tremendous effort begins feeling natural. Think about how children learn language. They do not learn through endless explanations. They learn through repeated exposure. The same phrases appear again and again until understanding becomes automatic. As adults, we can use that same principle intentionally. The goal is not to surround yourself with difficult English that leaves you frustrated. The goal is to surround yourself with understandable English that stretches your abilities just enough to help you grow. Because confidence grows when comprehension grows. And comprehension grows when exposure becomes consistent. One podcast episode may not change your life. One conversation may not transform your listening skills. One movie may not suddenly make you fluent. But hundreds of small moments of meaningful exposure create a powerful shift inside the mind. A shift so gradual that you may not notice it happening. Until one day, you realize something incredible. The conversation that once felt impossible now feels familiar. The speaker who once sounded too fast now sounds clear. And the language that once felt foreign now feels like a place your mind has learned to call home. Because fluency begins when English stops being something you study and starts becoming something you live. And now we arrive at the most important realization of all. Everything we have discussed until this moment, the listening patterns, the connected speech, the focus on meaning, the shadowing, the immersion, has been leading to one destination, one breakthrough, one transformation. Because there is a difference between learning English and living English. Many learners spend years collecting vocabulary. They memorize grammar rules. They complete exercises. They watch lessons. They understand English. But they still struggle to use English naturally. Why? Because somewhere deep inside their minds, every English sentence still has to pass through their native language before it becomes meaning. A native speaker says something. The learner hears it. The learner translates it. The learner understands it. And while that process is happening, precious seconds are lost. Those seconds create hesitation. Those seconds create confusion. Those seconds make fast English feel impossible. But imagine a different reality. Imagine hearing English and understanding instantly. No translation, no mental detour, no delay. Just meaning. That is the moment language stops being information and starts becoming instinct. And that moment begins when you learn to think in English. Now, when people hear this advice, they often imagine something difficult. They think they need perfect grammar. They think they need thousands of vocabulary words. They think they must become fluent before they can think in English. But the truth is exactly the opposite. You start thinking in English long before fluency arrives. In fact, thinking in English is what helps create fluency. It begins with simple moments. Looking out the window and describing the weather in your mind. Thinking about your plans for the day using simple English sentences. Describing the people around you. Talking to yourself while cooking, walking, exercising, or working. Not because anyone is listening, but because your brain is learning a new habit. A habit of connecting English directly to meaning. Without translation. Without permission. Without fear. At first, your thoughts may be slow, simple, incomplete, and that's perfectly fine. Because every great transformation begins with something small. Every time you think directly in English, you strengthen a new pathway in your brain. A pathway that becomes faster with repetition. stronger with use, more natural with time. And then something beautiful begins to happen. The listening skills you built start working together. The connected speech patterns become familiar. The chunks of language become recognizable. The shadowing exercises begin paying off. The immersion starts making sense. All the pieces connect, like scattered puzzle pieces finally forming a complete picture. And one day, perhaps during a conversation, perhaps while watching a video, perhaps while listening to a podcast, you experience a moment that every English learner dreams about. You stop noticing the language. You simply understand, not because the speaker became slower, not because the vocabulary became easier, but because your brain stopped translating and started living inside the language. That is the breakthrough. That is the transformation. That is the moment you realize that fluency was never about speaking perfect English. It was about building a mind that can experience English naturally. And when that happens, fast English no longer feels fast, it simply feels familiar.